Welcome to SVG-TV News for Wednesday, June 20th, 2018. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. The chairman of the National Adolescent Steering Committee, Marlon Young, has said adults must do all they can to ensure that the youth are able to reach their full potential. Young, who was speaking at the launch of the National Adolescent Policy and Action Plan on Tuesday, said the committee recognizes that a nation cannot move forward without the youth. Young added that as priorities, the Policy and Action Plan targets issues of mental health and the removal of adult responsibilities from the youth.
We would provide a pathway for them. We would provide avenues, and we will no longer leave them aside. Mental health is one of the key areas of this policy, for we have realized that our youths today, because they have been ostracized, many have looked upon themselves of no worth. It is time that we regain the worth. It is time that we allow them to be youths and take away the responsibilities of adulthood from them. For we cannot expect a 13-year-old to act as a 30-year-old. Adolescent pregnancy is another area of concern among our youths, and we must find all that is necessary, even though it means breaking cultural and moral barriers, just to see that our youths reach their fullest potential.
Minister of Health Luke Brown said the National Adolescent Policy and Action Plan is a carefully coordinated approach which seeks to facilitate the proper development of the youth.
And when someone is in this age group, I saw some research recently which presented this information between this age group and a little bit beyond, also up to 24. If there is not a strong cultural presence steering them on a wholesome track, persons could fall prey to a life of crime. For instance, an individual, as has been established, could become overly indulgent in promiscuous activities, much to their healthcare detriment. And these are all things that we could nip in the bud with a carefully calibrated approach. And what this Adolescent Action Plan represents today is a carefully calibrated approach that would help us to achieve wholesome objectives.
Meanwhile, Dr. Godfrey Shebb, the PAHO representative for Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, praised SVG for being the first country in the OECS to implement an adolescent action plan. He said the launch was a culmination of years of work from many stakeholders.
Although today we have two representatives of the government present at this launch through the Minister and the Permanent Secretary, the development of the action plan involved a broad number of stakeholders, including various ministries within the government, the police force, the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Planned Parenthood Organization, and other youth-serving organizations, including the faith-based organizations. This provided a rich picture of the social, cultural, legal and economic situation of adolescents and youth, and the gaps that needed to be filled to meet the health and development needs of young people.
Chief Education Officer Beverly Neptune has encouraged early childhood educators here to gain more knowledge to improve their teaching skills. Neptune, who was speaking to the teachers at a Childman Prize giving ceremony last Friday, said that gaining knowledge will help them better apply techniques to ensure that children learn.
It is important that all educators, providers for young children have a wide knowledge base of early childhood, including child development, appropriate milestones, expectations, and early learning standards. This knowledge is the basis for providing an environment and learning activities that are age and developmentally appropriate. You have the responsibility to ensure that you have the knowledge base.
The Chief Education Officer, who has a master's degree in early childhood development with a minor in special education, emphasized the need for slow learners to be given individual attention.
Understanding child development is key to successfully using developmentally appropriate practices as a means of delivering meaningful learning experiences. You have to have a setting and curriculum that meets the cognitive, emotional, and physical needs of children based on child development theories and observation of children's individual strengths and weaknesses. Adapting your programs and your curriculum to address each child's individual needs is not hard. What it requires is an understanding of early learning standards. Notice how often that is coming up. Knowing each individual child, observing during skill development activities and planning to increase skill development.
In other news, Director of the SVG Preservation Fund, Louise Mitchell, has said that fisher folk who make sacrifice in the name of preservation should be recognized, and they too must become the custodians of these changes. Mitchell was speaking at a ceremony held this week where the SVG Preservation Fund handed over $54,000 to the Ministry of Agriculture to be used as compensation for fisher folk who suffered losses because of the ban on sea turtles. The ban, which came into effect on January last year to give sea turtles a chance to survive, is said to have forced fisher folk to make changes. And Mitchell pledged the support of the Preservation Fund to the fisher folk who sacrifice.
And the Grenadines Preservation Fund believe that where persons are being asked to shift from one livelihood to another, that wherever possible the fund will try to give support, because it is very important that the persons that are affected by changes actually become the custodians of those changes, and you have to feel a part of it, and you have to feel that what you are doing is being recognized. So
the SVG Preservation Fund Director encouraged fisher folk to find inventive ways to make a living through conservation.
We can generate a lot more money than we do from the resources that we have in St. Vincent and the Grenadines if we learn how to show off those resources. So that is the task ahead. So once again, I want to thank all of you fishers who have agreed, who have demonstrated your commitment to adhering to the new legislation by surrendering your nets. This is a wonderful gesture of cooperation. We see you as critical partners in conservation, and we really thank you. Thank you all who have agreed to participate in this exercise.
Minister of Fisheries and Agriculture, Sabota Caesar, said he recognized the importance of conservation, and a nation that does not promote the practice will deny future generations the right to enjoy the natural environment. Minister Caesar praised the fisher folk who comply with the ban on sea turtles, including those who went a step further and surrendered their nets. The Fisheries and Agriculture Minister encouraged fisher folk attending the ceremony to spread the word to their colleagues.
Policy is there for compliance, and I am encouraging persons to comply. Of course, there is a schedule, and you have the offense, and you also have the penalty. I want to note to our fisher folk that at this stage we are asking those of us who are here to speak to those of us who are not here present, who continue to harvest turtles, to tell them to cease and to desist.
Audio technician at the Ministry of Agriculture, Carmelita Kirby, is encouraging Vincentians to pay more attention to the health of their ears. Kirby, who was speaking on Saturday as the Starkey Hearing Foundation fitted Vincentians with hearing aids, identified wax blockage and noise pollution among the causes of hearing problems.
We are living in a very loud society where everything is loud, and people take it for granted that the ears are just for hearing. But we are here to tell them that the ear is more than that. It balances the body as well, and we need to take very good care of it. Sometimes I am standing next to persons maybe on the sidewalk or so, and they have on a headphone, and you can hear what they are listening to on the side even though you are not wearing the headphone, which tells you that they are putting the song louder than their normal hearing value. So that is a problem in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Loud noise pollution. Loud pollution.
Welcome back, and in Carnival Beat this evening we heard that Mardi Gras returns to the Victoria Park this year after a trial at Little Tokyo last year as part of the 40th anniversary of Vincy Mas. Chairman of the Carnival Development Corporation, Ricky Adams, made the announcement at a media conference yesterday. Adams said that the compromise followed objections by the Mas stands who insisted that Mas should return to the Victoria Park. The Carnival chairman also said there will be no charge to enter the park.
Mardi Gras this year will return to the Victoria Park, and the venue will be absolutely free of cost. So those persons who thought that the $5 charge was a deterrent, you're encouraged to make your way down to the Victoria Park. We, as everybody knows, have had ding-dong battles with the masked men over that. But at the end of it, we have decided that the masked men made it very clear that they are the ones who bring masks, and they are the ones who are insisting on going back to the Victoria Park. And we have decided that there ought not to be a lot of energy expended in fighting the masked men over what they want to do. And so we've agreed. We had meetings up until last night on the issue. And the masked men are insistent on going back to Victoria Park, so we're carrying them back to Victoria Park, and we've further decided that we will make the venue free, so that anyone who's interested in going to view the masked men tell their stories as they cross the stage, you are certainly welcome and encouraged to do so.
Renowned mass band and band leader Elroy Blondybird Boyd welcomed the CDC's move to return the parade of bands to the Victoria Park. Boyd, who wrongly criticized the corporation's move last year to stage Mardi Gras at Little Tokyo as part of the 40th anniversary of Vincy Mas, told SVG-TV News today that he is satisfied with the decision to take Mas back to Carnival City.
Last year, when they move out, I start to chant them. I done the radio and the news in class. I done the radio and the news since early this year too, right? Because that was the only thing left to do, because they had nothing. That's the Carnival City, nobody in the Tokyo. So we're going over the park. The park is the best thing. That's Carnival Park. You masses for dramatize, and you have to dramatize it in a place. We have stage and thing. That's Carnival City.
In a recent interview with SVG-TV News, Boyd argued for the enhancement of the overall Mardi Gras product offered to patrons at the Victoria Park, and he made a reference to some of the attractions which once gained the attention of patrons, resulting in a greater showcase.
Went into Queen. Sometimes the people who live in the country, way out in the country, didn't get a chance to see the girls and them walking across the stage. So long time now, they used to have the girls and them making their appearance in the gong. Then they used to have a cultural festival. But in my time, they used to start at like 6:30. Now they could start about 8 o'clock. You could have the little juniors who make it in the little junior calypso. You invite the juniors, they give them a little, nothing big, you just give them a stipend to pay because it's a competition. You have a little two-pan side that didn't make it, the little school children and them. You have some of the artists like the Vincy and them who had tuned, who didn't make it to the semi. And you have a nice little package, them just bring in a little soca man. You ain't looking for no stars, just the guys, the future guys who didn't make it. So you have a little package. So by time 10:30, when the first mass band come in, is mass right through. So you have this whole little play and this little get-together in park. And this year is the best year to try it because you say this year is free. So instead of you the wrong park, although it's free, that means people have to come in now. Because nobody going to left the home and come in from 8 o'clock and sit down in the park till about 10 for the first mass band to come in. So this is a good year for the start now this show.
Branded under the theme Boarding Pass, the Soca semi-finals will be held at the tarmac of the decommissioned E.T. Joshua Airport. Marketing and sales coordinator of the CDC, Anthony Denny, said that the June 23rd event, which will commence at 7 p.m., will have 50 artists in both the Soca and Raga Soca categories competing for a spot in the finals. He added that early patrons can get their Soca Monarch tickets at a special price.
The Soca Monarch semis, as was the case last year, is a cooler fete. And we want to take the opportunity to let persons know that pack your coolers, put your drinks, get your tickets. They're only available at $30. Come down to the E.T. Joshua tarmac this Saturday evening, starting at 7 p.m. And for those who get in early between 7 and 8, we'll be having giveaways from our sponsors. And understand there's some very good giveaways to be made available. And also you'll be able to purchase your Soca Monarch ticket at the early bird price. Soca Monarch this year is $60. That was the price last year. And the early bird tickets are at $50. So it's a $10 savings once you come in early this coming Saturday on the tarmac at the E.T. Joshua Airport.
All right.